Hi everyone, this is MSY's Research Notes. Yesterday I have talked about the third chapter of my literature review, and like what I've said in my video, well, I laid a kind of reason in my video, and also I want to see the outcome. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, please just watch my previous videos. And yesterday, I've already felt this kind of outcome because today, when I was writing the third chapter of my literature review, I have felt that, firstly, I have a smoother logic, and luckily, I've found other essays to support my claims. And this is the first thing. And secondly, I felt that secondly, today I have already started the third line of the third chapter, which is the last part of this chapter, also the last part of my literature review part. And thirdly, I have felt that after rereading the previous writings, the previous parts of the third chapter, I have felt that I have firstly done a great job, and secondly, I've also captured some kind of not mistakes, but some parts of my writing that can be further revised or improved. So I think probably in my previous days I relied on artificial intelligence too much. So probably I think I gradually lost my independent thinking ability, but today I grasp that ability again, and I think I need to rethink the structure by myself instead of merely depending on AI's logic or the structure that they provided to me. So I think this is a great progress that I've made today. And also today, as a research assistant, I also helped my professor and also senior schoolmate, my senior schoolmate, a PhD student, to code or label more than, let me think, 5 or 6 essays. And those essays, and I think today I want to share with you some of those essays. Well, basically, those essays are, all of them are published in 2025, and some of them are written in 2024. So it was still in a preliminary stage of artificial intelligence. And probably, I think, just because of this reason, you can see that many articles are still analyzing how artificial intelligence feedback may shape students' writing or have some kind of specific influence on students' writing process. So you can see that such essays are still remaining on the stage of doing some preliminary analysis, or I think to some extent those researchers or those research are really, how to say, mediocre or not very interesting to me. So probably this is like some kind of common phenomenon here in China, because we pursue quantity over quality, generally speaking, here in the hall of academia here. So actually, I think there is only one essay which I remembered very clearly. It was the development and evaluation of an AI agent, or it's just like a kind of platform which used artificial intelligence. China made artificial intelligence, but not DeepSeek, but another AI. I cannot remember the name very clearly, but it's not DeepSeek. And that AI agent used some existing AI tools, and its aim is to facilitate Chinese learning for foreigners learning in China. And I think their application or their platform is not very complicated. They just used the existing AI tools, and when students present their writing and their application, or probably the AI tools in their application will analyze their writing and give feedback, and students can ask questions, and that application will give answers. And in this kind of feedback, or in this process of presenting your writing and get feedback, students, they generally will constantly revise their writing, and naturally they will reach to a kind of final draft of their writing. So this is a platform that they designed. And at the very beginning, students need to choose the difficult level, or the application will test which difficulty category students belong to. So I think this is to some extent very inspiring or thought-provoking, because in my essay or in my application called STVS, which has been introduced in my previous videos, we also conducted an experiment of testing the usability or effectiveness of our application, and we found that probably to some extent the feedback or the suggestions given by AI to some extent might not fit for students their personal situation or their personal conditions, because students' ability varies tremendously. And so probably we are thinking that at the very beginning or immediately after registration into our application, we must give students a test to check their level of English or other languages. But since our platform supports a wide variety of languages, so merely using one test for a single language is not enough. Because, for example, in English we have IELTS, we have other various tests which have been proved to be a great way or to be a legitimate way of showing students English level. But in other languages, especially in other minoritized languages, there isn't such a kind of experiment or examination. So it is impossible for us to create a difficulty criteria or language criteria or level criteria for every single language. So we are still thinking about this part. Probably, I think, just based on my personal use of other language teaching or language learning applications, generally students need to choose their educational level at the very beginning, just after registration. So I think probably I can add this part at the very beginning to tell my application which category does this student belong to. So based on this category, we have some personalized prompts for AI to generate a much better feedback or a much personalized feedback to students. And absolutely, students can also describe their situations and describe themselves. For example, I can describe myself as a student who has already passed the test for English majors band 4, which is the national test here in China to check the English level of English majors. So I got the national highest score, so it shows that I have reached a kind of high level in English. So I think this can show my level. And after describing my situation, my details, I think the application can then have a vague image or have a vague picture of myself. And based on this picture, they can provide feedback, which can better fit for my situation. For example, sometimes students of higher level might think that the feedback is too mediocre or too easy to, or probably the feedback doesn't include enough advanced expressions. They might think that the feedback is to some extent not very helpful because they have already known how to write or how to speak in that way. So we want to create a kind of criteria or different layers of mastery of another language to tell artificial intelligence what category does these students belong to. So this is what I'm thinking about, and I think I need to add this part into my application and also present it at the conference, as you recall. So I think this is something that I've got from my reading from from my research assistant experience. And also today I have a very friendly chat with another professor, and I asked him whether it is possible for me to present my evaluation of STVS as my semester paper or my course paper, which shall be handed in at the end of this semester. But actually, his course is about the intercultural communication. So probably both him and I agree that evaluation of STVS doesn't belong to the intercultural communication. So finally, we agreed that I can write a kind of meta-analysis about some kind of certain or some kind of small topic of intercultural communication. And I think why I choose to do this meta-analysis firstly is because in my other essays, in my other research, I have already used questionnaires, scales, interviews, and classroom observation and coding, and I have used various ways of data collection. But I have noticed that for some novice writers, for some novice researchers, including me, I mean, we generally do not have a very solid foundation of theories because for example, we just haven't enough time. We haven't got enough time to read thoroughly of each paper. So generally, we need time to do this, and absolutely we have to intentionally do this day by day. And this is why I'm doing this video, and this is why this is why I choose to become a research assistant, and this is also the major reason why I want to do this meta-analysis experiment, because in this process I will get in touch with a large volume of essays, articles, or some opinion articles, not only experimental or empirical essays. So after doing this research assistant project, I could have already read more than 300 papers about AI and second language writing. And after doing this meta-analysis, I could also have a relatively thorough or comprehensive understanding or comprehensive knowledge about some kind of small topic or some kind of concrete topic about something in intercultural communication, because I haven't decided about the theme, so I cannot tell you exactly what topic I'm going to analyze. So this is why I want to do this meta-analysis. And another reason is because meta-analysis is much easier to do, and you just need to collect essays and just write by yourself. It's okay. You don't need to walk out of the library and collect data in real society. You don't need to communicate with other people. It's to some extent more effective. especially in a short period of time before the end of this semester. And last, meta-analysis has a strong potential of being accepted by those top journals or the most reputable journals. So I think probably if I just could have some chance, I would also submit this paper to some well-known journals to just have a try. I don't know whether they will accept this or not, but I will just have a try. I will further polish this meta-analysis during vacation, and I will certainly submit this one to some journals, and hopefully they will accept this one. So this is just basically what I have today, and I still remember that every day I will just lay a reason here and waiting for the outcome. First reason I want to lay here is the acceptance of BAAL and Second Language Research Forum. Hopefully I really want to be accepted by BAAL because it can save me a lot of money because I don't need to buy another plane ticket. BAAL will be held at the very beginning of September, and after this there will be only 4 to 5 days, and there will be Eurocall in the same country, so I don't need to buy another airplane ticket to fly to another country, which is very, very expensive. I mean, for a student like me. So I really, really hope to be admitted by or to be accepted by BAAL, and hopefully my research can present there, and I really want to do an oral presentation there, and I really, really appreciate it, and I'm very grateful. So this is the first reason I want to lay here. And second reason I want to lay here is that I really, really want to present my work in some top journals. And currently I'm writing an article about near-peer dialogic teaching, and I hope to finish this just in early May. So hopefully after doing this essay, I can submit this to some top journals. And I just want to say that I've spent more than about a year doing this experiment. So I just want to say it's time to have an outcome. It's time to have an outcome. So hopefully everything will just everything will just process, or everything will just move forward smoothly. And this is probably all the thing that I can do before my application to Oxford and Cambridge. All right. So finally, I also want to say that I really want to be accepted by Oxford or Cambridge. Both of them are excellent, extraordinary schools and universities. So just hope everything goes well. And it's very late at night. It's 11:32. So it's time to go back to my dormitory. All right. So this is what we have today. And this is MSY's research notes. See you tomorrow. Good night.